I never understood why people were so scared of living, so scared of getting out of their own way, taking the plane, driving far, moving places. I judged people for what they were scared of because I could do everything that most people were not able to do. Until I realized that I was scared too. But it was not the same kind of scared. I was afraid of something even bigger than them. I was afraid of myself, my own potential. Because what would happen if I showed myself? Will people that I love leave me? I spent most years of my life hiding. You're going to ask me, hiding from who? Hiding from what? Hiding from who I am, my own voice, my talents. I was scared of being seen, being heard, being judged. I decided that hiding was the solution. What I understood very early on is that from the point of view of others, I wasn't welcome. So I stopped talking. I had so much to say, but I wasn't able to speak. No words were coming out of my mouth. I was scared of taking too much place, scared of existing. I remember being 7 years old in my music class. We had to choose an instrument for the year-end show, and I knew I was able to play the drum because I had a rhythm. But I was so afraid of taking the place of somebody else that I didn't even audition for it. And guess what? I was stuck with an instrument I didn't really like. I always thought that something was wrong with me, even when I wasn't talking. Because even when I was being silent, they always had something to say. It became worse growing up. I finished high school and was left with no friends. I wanted to disappear again. I decided that hiding would make them forget me and be happy. I was so scared to the point where the thought of seeing someone I once knew in my hometown was eating me alive. Until I realized that I was hiding for them. Were they doing the same? No. They continued to live their lives as if anything that they did never happened or that it didn't really matter. But they weren't hiding. They weren't afraid to live. And I asked myself, why did I give my power to people who don't even exist in my reality anymore? Why did I decide that listening to them was the right way of living? Why did I decide that stopping myself from living would make them more happy? I spent years in silence. And me realizing that I spent so much time internalizing my beliefs to the point where I lived a life not really existing made me realize that I was my own worst enemy. I was hating myself worse than anybody else. Trying to keep myself small for so many years was making me die inside. And by doing that, I wasn't helping myself or others. Shrinking myself wasn't going to make me the person that I always wanted to be. I think that when you're being yourself, you're one of God's examples of showing others what is authenticity and what being yourself brings to others. Being authentic polarized, but you need to be okay with being liked or disliked. Because either way, it doesn't really matter. Because everything they see lives inside of them. And even by triggering people, you inspire them to make some change, to have a new perspective, to see life a different way. You need to understand that the universe made you go through these experiences to make you awaken to your own soul and what you're capable of in this lifetime. You're meant to be yourself, to live your dreams, and be what you were always meant to be. I just want to finish that video by saying that I do numerology reading. So if you're interested to book one, you can book through the link in the caption of this video.